I do this for 3 women who I pray will be emerge successful. And these women, 2 women, also are tasked to create their own web of support. Before you know it, in the next 10, 20 years, this is a long-term thing. We would have more women supporting women in real time. And that's what I think. For that alone, I think
Telemaze is Mon 87460 and Mon 89034.
support.
PBR copy is also Monsanto
Okay, I'm
patent,
just reading
and even the cotton is Monsanto
what this
patent.
person says. We should
So when
just your husband before we
everything is Monsanto, I remember I started talking about Monsanto when I talked about Bayer.
Nigerians
Yeah.
appreciate
Now, when everything is Monsanto, who owns the patent? Monsanto.
That will stand.
Now,
I tell you,
the way GMOs are,
I just want him to
if you plant
really appreciate.
GMO
And the
maize
very last thing that I'm reading
in
is from Oscar.
any
Thank you
society,
so much. And this
before
person is
long,
saying,
it will cross
how
pollinate
will
with
you
your
celebrate your
natural
victory? At
maize
the last line,
or natural, yeah.
they're asking,
GMOs will cross
how we
pollinate
celebrate your victory.
with the natural variants, and then
Do you know that?
they start sterilizing your natural variants. Something like what you see happened in Jurassic Park, the recent one. You know, you see it happened there. So the GMO maize starts cross pollinating and sterilizing your natural maize. Now, here's how Monsanto goes after the farmers. Number one, if you are a farmer and you didn't buy seeds from Monsanto, using the Plant Variety Protection Act of 2021, Monsanto can sue you for being in possession of their seeds, even if it was wind that blew the seeds to your farm. So far, there is Monsanto seed on your farm and you didn't buy it from Monsanto, you can't prove you bought it from Monsanto, you're going to jail. If you don't want to go to jail, you settle out of court. And most times, Monsanto will ask you for your land. It happened in Brazil. Patent laws. You have Monsanto's patent on your farms. Secondly, um, the GMOs, most of them are F1, F2. In other words, they can't survive beyond 1 or 2 generations. Then they cross pollinate with your natural variants that God gave you that has been reproducing since time began. And then it cross pollinates, and then your natural variants is sterilized. It can't reproduce again. What is that if not food terrorism? And that's why Russia considers GMOs as food terrorism. Now, all the patents you have in Nigeria, forget what they are telling you that it was built in IR or built in. These guys don't have laboratories that do this at all. Everything is from Monsanto. In other words, a globalist organization that pursues the agenda I was talking to you earlier on. Now, in a matter of 5 years, may control your entire food system. And then they will tell you to pass LGBT law or they will withhold food from your population. And you would have to pass the law because you've lost your food sovereignty to a company called Monsanto. And who is helping them do this? The foolish scientists that have been talking, like one called the one who was talking recently and said that I don't know what I'm saying. You don't have to be a scientist to talk about food. Abraham, he posted it on he replied me this night. I debated Abraham at Brekete last year. Had nothing to say. These guys are agents of genocide, but UNESCO education has messed them up. They can't believe that this PhD that they have was actually programming them to kill their fellow compatriots. They can't believe it. And some of them have gone way too deep that they're not ready to retrace their steps. But what's even making the agenda thrive is the fact that Nigerians are trying to know that girl that VDM posted on his handle yesterday. Go and look at the engagements there. That's what Nigerians are busy with. They're trying to know who the girl is. They're trying to understand. Um, 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 they're trying to know. They're trying to know um, if what's that boy's name again? What's that guy that was crying during Priscilla Ojo's wedding? What's his name? Annie. They're trying to know if he cried in the second leg of the wedding. They want to look at what the girl wore for the wedding. That's what Nigerians are busy with. Meanwhile, Monsanto is colonizing your food systems. So, AATF was set up majorly to push GMOs across Africa. So, part of their strategy was to set up another agency called OFAB, Open Forum for Agricultural Biotechnologists. So, what that means is they will now have what you call, they would have what you call cells. So, they started first as a project called Water Efficient Maize for Africa. So now, climate change. Okay, so let me just say it right here and here. Climate change is a fraud. It's a big fraud. I don't care if you believe it's not a fraud. It's a fraud. It's a very big fraud. And I will explain it to you in a short while. First of all, this generation is the first generation that is trying to fix the climate. What did your father's generation do to fix the climate? What did your grandfather's generation do to fix the climate? What did your great grandfather's generation? What did you do to fix the climate? So why are we acting as if we are the first to have climate? So before I even go too far in that one self, under the guise that the climate is changing, there's famine in Africa, there's drought in Africa. We need to produce water efficient maize for Africa. That is drought tolerant. Now, MON 87460 is drought tolerant, the drought tolerant variant of telomeres. So they started that program, water efficient maize. The thing failed in South Africa, failed in some parts. So they rebranded it to the telomeres project. And telomeres project has been on for more than 10 years. So they took it to Tanzania. Tanzania started the trials in 2018 and then they cancelled it off. They tried to restart in 2021. Of course, they were lobbied, but then they knocked it out again. They took it to Kenya. They took it to, was already in South Africa. They've been doing it in South Africa for a while. And then they brought it to Nigeria. And countries that have OFAB cells, like Nigeria has OFAB Nigeria. So AATF needed an advocacy, a policy advocacy organization that will act as a parasite and leech itself on the governments that they want to subjugate with their agenda. And OFAB Nigeria was born, and Rose Gidado is the country director of OFAB, an organization that is connected to AATF. This woman came into Nigeria, found her way into federal government service. Today, Dr. Rose Gidado is the director of Agricultural Biotechnology Department in the Nigerian Research and Development, Nigerian Research and Agricultural Research and Development Agency, NABDA, under the Ministry of Science and Technology. An OFAB agent becomes a federal government staff and director. That is how serious she is. See, look, I admire the woman. Let me not lie to you guys. I admire that woman. She's very tenacious. Very, very tenacious. While Nigeria sleepeth, the woman is working. So are we going to keep sleeping? Then the woman penetrates federal government service to advance the agenda of OFAB. Then the regulators, because of course NABDA and OFAB are promoting biotechnology. Then the regulators, NBMA, Nigerian Biosafety Management Agency. NBMA, on the other hand, is a government agency that has a board. Guess who is sitting on the board? NABDA, Rose Gidado's organization. How will the regulators regulate properly when the promoters of biotechnology is sitting on their board? That is the problem we're facing. So all of these things are happening, but Nigerians will just shout, Tinubu is bad, Tinubu is bad, Tinubu is bad. Tinubu is a useless president. For Nigeria to survive, APC must die. Those are vague, vague narratives. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. The Tinubu, do you know what it means? Do you know what federal government is? Hundreds of thousands of people doing things all over the place. How will the man know, that frail looking man? How will he know what Rose Gidado is doing if we don't speak? If we don't start the education and the enlightenment and sensitization? How will he know? It's not that we won't be aware. Am I saying APC and Tinubu are good? No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that it's just like when you hear men are scum. Men are scum. Is every man a scum? If it is your boyfriend that was your ex that was a scum, say it, my ex was a scum. Yes, fine, good. The generalization of saying APC is bad, the government is it's not true. And it's not the best way for an intelligent person to 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 fight an agenda. Like I tell some of these guys, I don't want to deviate into politics, but I tell them, if you keep saying the government is bad, APC is bad, how will you contribute meaningfully to the government? Or you just want to wait to take over? That means even yourself, you're selfish. You know what will fix the country at this time. Why don't you offer it? Why don't you believe in Nigeria? Don't believe in your Labour Party or Peter Obi. Believe in Nigeria. Look for your local government, look for your state government, try and contribute. The thing you know that will fix Nigeria, post it online. Look for how to advise the government, look for how to bring it in, even now. You can't say you're waiting for 4 years. What if you wait and then the guy doesn't win again? Why don't you get involved even from now? So I tell them, I say, come, just shouting and saying the government is bad, it's not going to fix the government. Why don't you find what exactly is going on inside the government? Find who is complicit and call them out and propose new options. I was in Addis Ababa and I met someone, a very high up person in government, a friend of the president, and I spoke to him about some of these things. And then the guy says to me, I don't think the president is aware. Write me a short note, let me take to him and speak to him about it. These are APC guys. APC people will eat food whether they like it or not. So let's I don't know if you're here and then maybe you're one of the what you call it now, partisan politics guys who believe that Peter Obi is the Messiah and Labour Party is the answer. No, believe in Nigeria, forget partisan politics. Believe in Nigeria, start fixing Nigeria even from now. So back to what I was saying. So OFAB is an implant from ATF. And if you go to the government's website, you will see them saying OFAB is under the auspices of the Biotechnology Organization Agency in Nigeria. And that's actually a lie. OFAB is not under them. OFAB is a parasite that is leeching on them. And then if you go to Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and check their grants, you will see them releasing millions of dollars to AATF, over $300 million to AATF to push GMOs across Africa. And of course, the funding goes from AATF to OFAB. And who is the country director in OFAB? Dr. Rose Gidado. So you can follow the money and know where it ends. So I'm saying these things to let us know that it's not just all about shouting, like like I post, man. There are many things I want to talk about, but I mean, I can't post everything. I do threads, but I'm not so sure everyone is reading them. Sometimes I have a lot of posts I've made, months ago, years ago, that I feel like I should post because maybe some people just followed me and all that. And then again, I don't even have so many people on my handle. But if we come together and we are committed to the cause, I believe we can make the necessary spark to get the fire burning the all across Nigeria. So I think at this point I still have a lot to say, but I'll put that to another day. I want to thank you all for listening to all that I have to say. The monologue, the ramblings of the conspiracy theorists, which I'm not, anyways. But I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for being on the call. And we're gonna do this again. I'll come back another time. This is the first in recent times that I'm organizing, and I would like to have more of this. And if you want to speak at this time, the mic is open. I mean, I want to hear from some of us. Please, you can come on, request the mic. There's so much space. I think there's so much space to speak. Just maybe in a few lines. Let's hear from you before we call it a night tonight. So um I think gospel rap is already on. If you want, okay. Yeah, Michael Ajobo.
It is one pride.
Okay, can I talk now?
Yes, you can go ahead. Gospel rap. You can go ahead. Thank you.
My name is Savik, actually, Victor Ibu from Akwa Ibom State. But I sequence words and beats, so I call myself Savik for now.
Okay.
Uh, Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
What I would just like to say is very simple. I want everyone to put on their thinking caps. As in, when you think about how human beings are, what is the tendency that a billionaire would want to do Nigeria good? Like, what is he looking for? That's how I look at what these guys are doing. Bill Gates just gets up one day, leaves Microsoft, and now thinks he wants to get into medicine. What is he looking for? Definitely profit. Now, I keep telling myself, I said one of the biggest mistakes that will happen to these guys is when God gives me a voice. If you check my handle properly, I'm a rapper. I have my songs out. I hardly post them. The pressing issues, I don't even have time to be like wanting to curate a career, a content for whatsoever. It's draining when you look at what's going on. Every day you come up, there's something. And I really want to thank you. I don't know your real name. I want to thank you for what you're doing, the information you're putting out there, helping us to know, really get to look at some things. I mean, I don't think maybe I heard about Yandex years ago. I don't think I really, looked into it. But recently, like you mentioned it, I went to Google, I was trying to check something, I just couldn't find it. Went to Yandex, the thing was just there. I was like, what? So this is actually these guys, they are scraping off everything to help us, that could help us to find out what is going on. So to everyone that is listening, see, if the reason why I do the things I do on Twitter is just because I want when my children come, they will never get to say, Daddy didn't do anything about this. I mean, in your time, what did you do? For now, I don't have a loud voice, but I have social media. So that when you scroll over my timeline, you can see the things I talk about, the things that are pressing to me. So social media is not just a place where you just you come and muse about things that are not affecting both you and the people around you. So when the host makes a post and you come across it, why not share it? Why not comment? Why not say something that will amplify what he's trying to talk about? Imagine we've been chasing GMOs for how long now, and we haven't been able to nip these guys in the bud. How do we even think about how these guys are treating our food? That, I mean, someone wants to give us machines to eat. I see it like machines. Why would you want to? Okay, because you developed phones, you now think you can develop food. I mean, we've had food all before we were even born. You go to my place. We are from villages. You go to my place. I mean, look at corn. Then someone wants to now tell me that there's another corn. Like what? Why are they trying to introduce a new kind of food to us? Is it that our food it's crazy, guys? Let me just stop here. Like, all I just want to say is there's nothing like conspiracy theory here. The last time I just asked myself is that why are people attacking our host? Like, is it that does he hate somebody? This guy is just trying to alert everybody that, okay, even if you don't want to listen to me, go and read about these things. Find out what are these guys saying? Who are the guys behind all this? Why are you antagonizing somebody who is just bringing information to you for you to go and do your own research? But you won't even think. Look at the other guy that came up when we talked about this fluoride thing. He came and instead of like God would have it, he now came to expose to us that fluoride is actually a medication. That's it. And I'm sure he didn't even know that's what he was trying to say. Because since I was born, I've never seen that toothpaste is supposed to be rationed like you are supposed to take it like a dosage. That was the first time I saw an image of someone trying to explain that, oh, if you're brushing your teeth, this is the quantity, this is the amount, and all that. Why haven't we been told all these things all this while? Make we they swallow fluoride, they go first. Then you just wake up one day and now come and tell us that this thing is actually supposed to be taken in a dosage. The questions were asked. If I'm brushing my 2-year-old now, how do I prevent this child not to swallow this? All of us, most of us that have children, we know. As soon as you start brushing, the first one they swallow it.
Mm-hmm.
You brush again before you know the paste is gone. And they're just swallowing. So I said, okay, I take peak milk, fluoride is inside. I brushed in the morning, fluoride was inside. Before the day is over, I've taken, and you're telling me this thing is
You
supposed to
drink
be taken
water,
in
fluoride
dosage.
is
Oh.
inside.
What's going on? So please, I just want to everybody, let's have passion for this thing. Let's have passion for let our voice be heard. Let it be said that we were one of the persons that joined our host to champion the fact that GMO is bad. We have food. We had food. Our parents had food. We don't need engineered food. We don't want to hear the discussion at all. Give us phone. We will manage that one. Let's manage the radioactivity that is coming from that one. But you see, food. Why are we discussing food? Nigeria can feed Africa. Why are we discuss? Why? What are you trying to tell us? So I pity all these doctors, like you were saying. When you have a PhD, your whole life is tied to it. That's the only thing that gives you value. You can't even think again because you went to school, and the school that you went to that is supposed to even help you to be a critical thinker. You can't even do that again because your livelihood is now tied to it. You want to come and explain. My wife was telling me something recently about painkillers. Do you know that doctors actually know that painkillers causes ulcer? But they would never say it. You see, my wife heard it like in the passing. Someone came to sell a new painkiller drug, and the guy just said, "This one are the same side effect." Do you understand? That's how my wife heard that. They all know that painkillers cause ulcer, but they will never mention it. You go to them and say, "Oh, you go to the orthopedic clinic, pain here, arthritis, blah blah blah," and they give you painkillers. They know what they are giving to you. God.
You know, there was a day. Thank you very much, Savik. You know, at CEFSA, The director of CEFSA, the executive director of CEFSA, is actually a professor in inorganic chemistry. So one day we were having a conversation, and then he said that he never uses paracetamol of any kind. He said because the liver never completely breaks down that thing. He said the liver, he said every paracetamol you have used since you were a child is stored somewhere inside your liver. And to break it down or detox it is very difficult. Is that not is paracetamol not the most commonly used drug in this country? 500 milligrams. They'll give you two. Use two in the morning, two in the afternoon, and two in the night. Something that a little salt will solve. Just small, plain salt water solution. When we were growing up, salt water solution was almost like the Bobo Nishe as at that time. You know what Bobo Nishe is like? A general drug. Can use it for almost anything. But how that thing just eroded, and then ibuprofen for children. Ibuprofen, there's the one for children, there's the one for Capol, Capol for children, paracetamols. How those things took over from saltwater solution, we don't know. Suddenly, our dependency on pharmaceuticals skyrocketed. Meanwhile, the liver does not completely break down this thing. So, when we begin talking about, oh, let's increase sensitization, let's do this, let's do that, it's too important. It's too important because we are plagued with all kinds of sickness. And actually, that's one of the reasons why, when people say, Pastor Chris talking, how won't the man talk? How won't he talk? He owns a healing school. He has seen all kinds of diseases. He's trying to find out where are these diseases coming from. So when he's coming to come and give to me personally, sometimes when I connect to his program, to me, that is him preventing you from coming in the next maybe 2 years or 3 years to come and be looking for miracle in his church. He's trying to prevent you from coming. Is it not better people listen now? No, I hear people argue that he's just talking, It's not, he's trying to stop you from coming. Because if he doesn't stop you now by telling you all these things about fluoride, because in fact, this fluoride thing, the first person I heard it from was from him. He just said it in passing last year. Then I went to do my own detailed research. If you check my post, you'll see I've been talking about fluoride since 2020, since last year. So he's trying to prevent people from coming to look for miracles in his church. Is it not better he spends more time teaching the word of God and praying and blessing the people than solving what a little listening should have? Okay, now look at now. We have people that are currently sick from COVID vaccine. What if everybody listened? What if everybody listened when that man was speaking? If everybody listened, they will not be going through this COVID vaccine issue now. A lot of people are going through it. A lot of people are going through it. So I just thought to corroborate what Savik, what you were saying earlier on about the dependencies on mainstream drugs, and thank you for stirring everyone to join what we are doing and also to ensure they are retweeting and posting. I'll come back to you, but let's quickly take before I call on Michael, let's quickly take Uberman. Uberman's. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing your name well.
It's Uber Mensch, but don't worry. Mr. P Shakes, thank you very much. See, the one that just busted my brain in all this your talk was Chatham House. I never expected that. Like that Chatham House on was what busted my head. The fact that Chatham House has a long standing with I've forgotten what you called it.
Council of Foreign Relations.
Council of Foreign Relations. Thank you. Oh my God. And now that you said it, it just point back to every time. At least I've been noticing it since 2019, even 2027 during US election, that even Biden, I saw Biden there in Chatham House, he was discussing. And I also saw 2092 when our presidential candidates went there to discuss. And now Peter Obi and all of them, and I keep asking myself, why did they go there? Now it's now making sense. Although I don't still know why they are still going there, but to some extent now, it kind of now makes sense that they have to just go there. I was thinking that maybe my own was that I was thinking maybe because of they're trying to like get a larger audience or something. But in fact, I don't even know again, self. I really do not know again, but it's still shocking. It's still shocking. We learn every day. We learn every day, so it's still shocking. And surprisingly, I saw your video on that peak milk. Peak milk made in Holland and peak milk made in Nigeria. So yesterday evening, I said let me just check because I don't use peak milk. I use loyal milk. Only for me to check loyal milk and I saw chloride. I just read. I was like, oh God, so I've been taking this thing since and I no no. Sir, we are just living in ignorance, I swear. We don't know these things. I've been using loyal milk for almost 9 years now and I did not know until yesterday. As in literally until yesterday. I said let me just check this. I don't even know what entered my mind. I just let me just check this thing. And lo and behold, I saw chloride. I was like, what was going on? I was not even thinking because I was a science student. I was like, why would they even put chloride? Because I know that chlorine is a halogen, and halogens they are very very unstable elements, and most of the times they are toxic when they mix with other elements. And the thing is deliberately like they deliberately concealed it because they not just say chlorine, they just say chloride, and chloride means a compound that contains chlorine. It means a compound that contains chlorine. Sodium chloride, this one chloride. And I was thinking, what kind of chloride would they have actually put into this thing? It just opened up a lot of questions. And I don't even know, Seth. It's like I'll have to stop taking milk because I don't know what kind of adverse effect it will have on me, in the future. This thing now that you were saying, sir, I even told some people in the WhatsApp group that I mean that's what is going on. They don't believe. They don't believe. When you say this thing, even as you're saying it, you will not even believe you're saying it. Like you will start doubting yourself. You start doubting yourself. But because of a lot of evidence, assuming there's no evidence and I'm saying this thing, I will not even believe myself. But it's because I've read. And there's one time, the first time I heard about this GMO, this thing, that was back in February when you invited some professors. I can't really remember the details again, but he said we should download one document. I don't know if I'm saying it well, Katangona document or Katan. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly.
Cartagena Protocol.
Yes, Katana protocol. Thank you. That document is very insightful. I advise everybody to go and read about it. It is a very, very insightful document. And also concerning it again, I also read, surprisingly, during that month, I don't know, I was just seeing a lot of your posts. I think that's one thing about the opened my eyes to say, oh boy, see, this thing is real. And during that time, David Lunde, Mr. David Lunde actually now released a document that was declassified, or he talked about a document that was declassified by the White House about the Kissinger report. The thing has an official name, but I can't remember the official name. So it's Kissinger report. We should go and read about it. You will not believe that they have been planning the population of specific countries since the 1970s, and Nigeria is one of them. Nigeria, Egypt, not Argentina, Nigeria, Egypt, India, and some other countries. They are in that document. Please, I advise people to also go and read it. The thing is very detailed. They have been planning us since, so it's not today. At least I was even thinking it's even 1977. Now you're not even as you started this space. I'm not even hearing since 1919. Then you now went back 1886, 1786 or more. No,
So
these
yeah,
people they can
let
plan
me mention something
or more.
quickly. You know
Yeah,
this guy,
okay.
First of all, thank you for your comments. So I'm going to read up on chloride. I don't know about chloride, but I'll read up on it if it's dangerous for you to use. I don't know that in loyal milk, but um, is it not funny that human beings are the only mammals that take milk even into adulthood? Think about it. Because I was asking a chemist once, and he said, who's also a nutritionist, say you don't need milk. That milk is only needed. The only milk that is required is the one that you get from, is the one required by the babies from their mothers. And that human beings are the only mammals that take milk into adulthood. And of course, those milk are now artificial milk. Said it's safe if you don't need it actually. That's what he said. You know, even the natural milk that you're getting from, what they say is fresh milk from the farm. Um, they've engineered those cows to produce milk all year round. Those milks are not really normal, as you think. Maybe what I'll do is I'll invite that professor. I'll bring him to the space, so I'll let him talk about it. So you guys will hear it from him yourself. So if it's about stopping milk, that's not a bad idea at all. But these guys have sort of created it as a required beverage that is very going to be very difficult for many people to wean themselves from it. Yeah, that said, speaking about that Kissinger report you talked about, you should know that Henry Kissinger was actually like he was very linked to Klaus Schwab. What Klaus Schwab is today is what Henry Kissinger was years ago. And you should read about the history of Henry Kissinger and Aldo Moro. You should read about it. Imagine he told the president that I will kidnap you and I will kill you like a dog, and he did it. That's Henry Kissinger for you. So you should check him out. You should read about him. He's a crazy guy. And of course, Nigeria has always been on the radar. Nigeria has always been uh, a nation that they need to decimate and also control for many reasons, many, many reasons. Reasons that transcend the scope of this conversation, but it's a crazy thing. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for your comments. Let's hear some other people. I'll still come back to you in a bit. Let's hear from Michael Ajobo. Michael, 2-3 minutes.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Please, am I being heard?
Loud and clear.
All right. First of all, I'd like to say thank you so much for the opportunity to speak here, and I've definitely learned so much. I like listening to you. I don't think I ever told you that, but I love listening to you, and I love seeing your posts. Sometimes I ask myself, why can't I just arrange my posts like this? Why can't I put all these words together the way it does? Then I remember, oh, that's why he's a doctor and I'm not. So I just relaxed after that, like it's fine, there's a reason why you're a doctor. So I've learned so much. I was gonna ask a question, but I was just gonna say something about something you had just said. You were just talking about Henry Kissinger, and I remember one of his famous quotes. He said, "Control oil and you control the nations. Control food and you control the people." Right. So proofs positive that these are actually people that understand. Well, I say they know their onions, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you also spoke about Klaus Schwab's, and one of his what's it called? One of his advisors, I'll remember his name, spoke about how there was a time where where food was the main market and when technology was the main market, and now human beings are the main market. They are the things they're focusing on for money. It's now internet of people, and how they're trying to manipulate human beings, and also based on their eugenics ideas, trying to create pro-humans and everything. Anyways, that's just by the way. I wanted to talk about something. I thought you spoke about it just in passing, but it was something I thought to bring up maybe as a full discussion. Because I was doing a research not so long ago, right? And I was also talking to some, reading up on so many things and talking to some professionals in the field. And I even observed concerning the so-called or terrorist attacks, that we've been having in Nigeria in the north and all that. There was one thing I observed was that more than more than 50%, I would actually say almost at least almost up to 80% of the people that are killed during this raids are actually Muslims. Honestly, it's just that I feel that now I'm going to coin all this into a question because I'd really like to get your thoughts because I know based on your experience you'd know better on this. uh, More than 80% are Muslims, right? And I feel personally that sometimes they selectively blow up churches or attack Christians because they know Christians will cover up for what they're doing. Why? Because we talk. Like a church has just been blown up, and then we come out and we're talking and crying. And I'll honestly say mostly crying and not doing anything about it. Anyways, so, but 80%, what I observed is that this actually has not been a religious attack, as it is food attack on our food, right? Because I observed that what they do is these guys, basically all these guys you've mentioned, Bill Gates and the likes, they employ these guys, arm them up, of course, previously through US aid, but now that that has been crippled, I assume they will be searching for other countries, maybe not through the United States, where they can siphon their funds and all of that, right? And what I observe is that they send armed men to their farms, clear out their farms because these people actually have original seeds, right? These are people with organic seeds, not genetically modified seeds, right? And there is no reason why they'll give up what is working. If there's anything Nigerians are known for is if it's not broken, don't fix it. So there's no reason why they'll give that up for that has been feeding their families and feeding the nation and give it up for something they don't know. Right. So they send these armed men to clear out their farms, burn their farms, chase them away, and then these aids or these so-called philanthropists or like Bill Gates will classify himself um, um, philanthrocapitalist or something like that. Right. Then they come through another aid and then say, "Oh, we heard your farms were burnt down and all of that. Oh, we're ready to help you with aids and support." And then they call them back to that farm. But now knowing that they have no original seed, then they give them the GMO seed because now they're in a quagmire. They can't do anything because they don't have seeds. Their farms have been burnt down by the people that they sent or by their genetically modified cows. Because I also in my research I also observed that there are actually some crops that cows will never eat. For example, cassava, and that was when I was able to observe that these guys actually have genetically modified cows, right, that are used to actually eat up certain crops. I know you didn't mention this. I know Bill Gates also. I think I posted on it sometimes ago. Bill Gates is heavily invested in Arla farms, who are people that are in. Well, what does Arla farm do? They are the ones in charge of your Dano products, Dano milk, and so many. They have so many products that are from Arla farms, and they are that's I know I read up on when Bill Gates was working on cows that do not fartless cows, like they don't fart, they don't release gases, right? And of course, this has to do a lot with their foods and in the milk and all of that, right? So they have genetically modified cows that are also used as weapons of food destruction, right? And then they give them these GMO seeds and these GMO things, and all in the name of aid and trying to help them out. And then these farmers have no choice but to become genetically modified seed breeders, right? Because they actually majorly attack the seed givers, not even just the farmers that grow to sell. They attack the seed breeders. Right. So actually, as a professional, as the deputy director of CESPA, and I know you're a man with many caps. I'd really like to hear your take on it, especially even from the angle of me talking about how this armed terrorist attacks are not religious as it is economical and strategic concerning our food, and how it's just that Christians would when our churches or when they are attacked, they would usually cry out and cover up the real deal that they're trying, because these guys don't care about Muslims as much as they don't care about Christians.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, and they are just anti-human. So, Doctor, please, thank you so
yeah.
much for the
That's
opportunity.
then. Yeah, thanks. Let me just quickly speak on that in a minute. So you're actually very correct. Um, okay. One day I was listening to. Okay, a friend of mine told me he wanted to go in for the House of Reps. So I now linked him up with another friend of mine who is very involved in politics at a very high level. And then, so this is my friend who wants to go for House of Reps. Didn't want to go under APC because in the area where he wanted to go under, APC is not very strong, but he's an APC loyalist. So I now linked him up with another of my friend who is very involved in politics. And so I told him to discuss his political intent with this my other friend. So then he calls them. So when he was done telling the my friend about who knows politics well, the question this guy asked got me thinking. The first he just asked, he said, "So this area where you want to represent, is there any mineral in the ground there? Is there lithium there?" The guy said, "No." He said, "Okay, that means you may win it." So because if there's any mineral in the ground, forget it. Just forget
Hmm,
it. You're not going to win it.
hmm,
Straight up. As in, I had never heard that kind of
that's
analysis.
crazy.
Of
Hey.
I never, I never heard it before. Straight, the guy just said because APC has a mandate right now.
Hmm,
Any state or anywhere there is there is good mineral deposits, forget it. Just kiss it goodbye. They will
hmm,
scheme and unscheme to ensure that they won't have issues with it.
hmm,
So I'm saying that to say this now that um, there's always an agenda beyond what you are seeing. People will think it's normal election. People will think it's normal rigging. People
hmm,
would think this is not knowing that it's mineral that they're actually fighting for.
hmm,
So when normal human beings are reading the news, 50 died in religious crisis in Jos.
hmm,
You have no idea what the rationale is behind what is going on unless you study the patterns or you have first-hand information from the people that are behind it. But from CEFSA, we have studied the patterns and we are finding that the bulk of the people who are being affected by insecurities
hmm,
are farmers. Their wish is not to kidnap them and release them. Their wish is to kidnap them, kill the seed farmers among them, so that you will become dependent on the seed companies,
Yes,
the
sir.
Syngenta, the DuPont, the Dew, the Monsanto. And right now, many of our seed farmers in Nigeria are gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're almost extinct, seed farmers. So what we are now having are seed companies, which never
Mm.
used to be our case in Nigeria. So we are finding that many of the areas that are being affected by insecurities are actually farming belts and farming regions. We are finding that many of the people in IDP camps, who these guys are very happy to give them daily bread, are actually farmers who have been pursued away from their ancestral lands. So is it possible to, even though correlation doesn't mean causation, the patterns between correlation and correlation are very important matrices to consider
Mm-hmm.
in understanding what is going on in any place. So I think that answers your question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank you. Thank you so
before
much,
we
sir.
leave, we'll come back to you. Yeah. Let's hear from let's hear from Tony Verse. Tony Verse, the mic is yours.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. Appreciate. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful opportunity to speak. All right. Okay. I've been, I've been reading your posts, the updates, following up, and learning quite a lot. Then to add to what Sir Michael said, is actually what has been happening now, or what has been happening before now, is a network effect of an activity that's been going on for years. For example, now you find it difficult to get an unbiased information on the internet. You see, an unbiased information because those things that were put out there on search engines took time, years that people were sleeping and not paying attention. So, for you to now, if actually post COVID, it has been going on, but during and after COVID, the thing was far much more intensified, and then it began to leak. So people started becoming aware of what has been happening, the misinformation that has been put out there, you see, and the deception in terms of so many things. Actually, when Sir Michael made mention of the target to farmers, is actually one of the ways that the globalists or those that want to reduce population act. During an act of war, the several areas that are attacked in a nation, the food sector, the health sector, and the defense sector. So, in attacking the food, they are going after our farmers. Recently, there was actually, I think it was National Bureau of Statistics that rolled out the food inflation rates in Nigeria. And Benue State, which was the food basket of the nation, appeared to be the one having the highest level of inflation. And you can actually tell why that is happening because of the insecurity that is actually being funded. The insecurity is actually being funded. You see, and a lot of people don't know. We all saw it when Doge in under Elon released the list of havoc that has been caused by USAID funding, including funding terrorist organizations in Nigeria and even the ones you don't know. They mentioned Boko Haram. How about the ones that you don't know? Because Boko Haram is not the only terrorist group. They're also headsmen, you see, that are responsible for insecurity and also specific attacks of farmers and their distance. So, sir, I'm actually glad. But what I wanted to discuss further here, or to just bring to our attention, is what has been happening, particularly in the health sector. Just like you have been tweeting and all that, I actually take it upon myself also to reshare your post and also write more. I did a research on, 2 weeks ago. I stumbled upon this post on palm oil and how palm oil has been expensive in some certain states, in some certain countries. Particularly, I think it was Indonesia. They are trying to roll up something to place a tax, a tariff on their exports. Then I said, let me do a research, and you'd be amazed at what I saw. I discovered that these guys in Indonesia are actually struggling. They're actually battling Bill Gates in another war front. You see, because a lot of us don't know that there's a war against palm oil that Bill Gates funded. In fact, there's an organization called C16 Biosciences that recently received a funding from Gates to develop GMO palm oil called palmless. You see, called palmless. So that palmless is what the Indonesian government, Indonesia primarily is the world's largest exporter of palm oil. Palm oil is their source of livelihood, is their source of revenue, major revenues. Now, Gates is saying that palm oil is one of the leading causes of deforestation, releasing gas in the atmosphere, and therefore leading to global warming. In fact, as of last year, Gates put up a blog where he spoke on his blog, Gates blog, where he spoke extensively and spoke negatively, trying to speak evil about planting palm oil and having it and all that. So it was later on we discovered that he was actually funding the development of GMO palm oil from a yeast. Yeast is a fungi from a yeast. So the company that is funding is called C16 Biosciences. They raised over $24 million in 2017 or so, led by Breakthrough Ventures. Breakthrough Ventures is the Gates Foundation for climate change. So that's where he does all this fundraising to launch whatever he wants to launch. So what they're actually doing now is this. So because of that tariff, because of that war that Gates is waging on them, so the Indonesian government has been trying to fight back. In fact, last year they wrote an open letter pleading with Gates. The letter is on the internet. They pleaded with Gates that why is he coming against them? That they are disappointed on his statement that palm oil is the leading cause of global change. I'm telling you, leading cause of global change. They are begging him that palm oil is their only source of livelihood and major revenue. That why is he coming against the only thing that they have? When I was reading that letter, I was so emotional because it was an open letter that's on the internet there. I get it. It was an open letter that was on the internet there. That's for the palm oil alone. Then that was a last week. Last week, I was looking at as a pharmacist. I was going through one of my patients complained about body odor, and when I read it up, and I discovered that okay, we have tried to what was the cause of this body odor? It started suddenly. So one of the physicians I met highlighted that it may be due to staph hominis. Is a particular organism that is responsible for malodor, body odor. So I started reading about it. Then I stumbled upon antiperspirants, and then I've heard of it before that aluminium chlorhydrate, which is a major component of antiperspirants, that is your roll-on, underarm cosmetic products, your roll-on. It's one of the leading causes of breast cancer. I've seen it before. So, but as I was doing this research, because I've done lab tests on this guy, what's the cause of this body odor and all this stuff? So I didn't quite get any. I took a swab from his armpit, two armpits, and cultured it in the lab, and I didn't quite see any staph hominis there. So then he said he's even using antiperspirants and all this stuff. So I said, let me just read up. Then, of course, I went online. They are telling me that one of the ways you can fight against the body odor, blah, 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 is antiperspirant. So I said, let me check up this aluminium stuff. Boy, I saw that aluminium in antiperspirant, there have been countless documents and papers, research papers that have been calling for the ban of aluminium chlorhydrate in antiperspirants. Are you getting the but it's consistently being incorporated. Then
Sorry,
I
sorry, sorry.
can you
Don't go too far. Slow down. What you're saying
oh,
is so important right now. So you're
okay.
saying now that because you see, imagine somebody just finished shaving his armpit.
Yeah,
All the pores have opened. All the pores have
exactly.
opened.
Exactly.
Then he will now spray aluminium.
Exactly. So if you check all
Okay.
your roll on now, if you check all your roll on, you will see the major component, which is aluminum chlorhydrate. There's also aluminum zirconium. These are several, but the major one is that chlorhydrate because it works by blocking the pores. You know, it's antiperspirant. So the idea is to reduce the sweating. I guess because the sweating is the major reason for maybe the smell and all this stuff. So it blocks the pore spaces. So, but there were reports, several years ago where people complained that started using those roll-ons at teenage age developed breast cancer. So when they took a sample of their breast cells and all that, biopsy or so, and they discovered high concentration of aluminum on the breast cells. Are you getting it? So I was shocked So I said, okay, let me check the commonly used roll-ons in Nigeria. And I started seeing all those things inside it. Then I'm wondering, how come nobody is? Then I looked at the history, how these things came, the companies that brought it in the 90s and all that. I said, how come nobody is? Why are they ignoring this thing? You see, and when our teenage girls get to 16 years, when at the beginning of their puberty, our parents are quick to, start using. I thought that's one of the major reasons why after shaving and you use all those antiperspirant and roll-on, you develop boils in those areas, because when you shave, these are smooth surfaces. So those roll-on don't just contain those aluminum; they also contain alcohol. They contain alcohols and all this stuff. So when you apply all those spirits and stuffs on whipping surfaces, and you lock it in, because that place doesn't get sufficient air, you lock it in under sweat conditions, it develops boils. So a lot of people don't know these things. And I'm wondering, how come these things are not on mainstream? You see, people keep on wondering the reason for the high insurgence of high rates of diseases, cancers, and all those stuff. And they don't look at the food, the cosmetics, what you put inside your body, what you take out, put inside your body, what you eat, what you inject inside your body. So these are the two major things I discovered this way. I said, how come these things are happening? And this just one of the components alone. We read on the news the health secretary of the United States calling a ban. In fact, it was yesterday, 2 days ago. They banned, I think, titanium oxide, the colorant that is used in several products, ingestible products, sweets and colorants and all that. So they banned it because they have discovered that it was cancerous. Some of them are dangerous. Some of them leads to decreased mental activity in children, decreased memory, impaired cognitive abilities and functions. And when you take a look at the lifestyle and the longevity of those of the 90s and the 80s, you discover that it was when these synthetic products started flooding the market. That's when we started having the lifespan of man reducing. You see, you can see when someone does 50 years, he's thanking God. Ideally, those in the 80s do 100, do 120 comfortably with their vegetables, with their organic house and all this stuff. You see, but now we are living in a world whereby even the GMO, they say they are doing GMO. Even the GMO, they don't want to label it for you to know that is GMO. So they want you to consume it. They want to replace all your seeds, all the seedlings that you want to plant with the synthetic ones. Because what it simply means, taking out control, food sovereignty of a nation, and giving it in the hands of those ones that have the improved seedlings. You see, that's why you pick up some oranges, some things, you will not see seeds inside. You will not see this one inside. So the idea is that the reproductive and prolific ability is taken away from the farmer that has the ability to plant it and put into the hands of the man that is engineering it in the lab. You see, so the person that, in fact, I was thinking the other day, I asked myself when it comes to virus, I said, if computer viruses, artificial viruses, computer viruses are man-made, how do you think and why do you think that human viruses are biological or are natural? I was asking myself that. Then I looked at the records. I discovered that if Elon could come and tell us that in the USAID saga, that Wuhan Institute received the funding to develop that virus in the lab, I said that means it's possible to engineer these things in the lab. So these people, is that about money making? Is that about merchandising? Is that about taking out first of all, their global agenda is population reduction, money making, and they do it at the expense of population decimation. So those people are what we are dealing with are people with network effects, high network effects. So literally everything, every area in food, in drugs, in development, even this bioengineering, geoengineering that we're talking about, spraying chemtrails and spraying chemicals to block the sun, so that some people will be. And I'm wondering, because he has tried a plant and people are resisting, so he's going to the sun, which is the only source of a light energy for for what do you call it again? Source of energy for production, for synthesis, biosynthesis. So going straight to the sun to block it, that is something that will affect the whole world, no matter where you are, as long as you are in this earth. If I go to the sun and block the sun, nothing, it will affect plant life, animal life, human life, soil, air, water.
So,
So that is the height of it. Also,
wow.
what we are dealing with people that have high network effect. So it's not just literally everywhere in
Everywhere.
every country. This man's Apple strings appears to be strongly tied to
You
every nook and cranny of human civilization.
know, I want to
So
read something. Sorry,
okay,
just a second. I want to read something, It's in the so as part of my research documents, because I read a lot, I use the Bible. Very
okay,
important because the Bible contains a lot of information. Listen to this. It says Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, you who weakens the nations? Another translation said, O destroyer of nations. So, who is responsible for weakening nations? This scripture came to my mind when you talked about how a country was writing in an open letter to Bill Gates and saying, why do you want to weaken or why do you want to mess up our oil? The answer is right there because that individual is advancing Satan's work on earth to weaken every nation. That is what his agenda is, you know. And it's very important to look at it from this angle because maybe this might be my closing submission tonight. This is where I'll close my submission tonight on anything that I'm saying. I'll just close here before, if you look at everything that is happening, the cheat code to look at everything that is happening, you can find it in the beginning of beginnings. You find that in still again, I would say the best research material anybody can find is the Bible. There's a lot in the Bible that if you look at it, you would see where everything is coming from and you know exactly where they're going to. It's just the easiest way to, to understand what's going on. I want to show you something because when I hear people talk about climate change and talk about a lot of stupid things, it's just very obvious that they don't understand. Okay, in sorry, just a second. After God created everything on earth, look at verse 11, Genesis 1. It says, and God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. This is what I'm going to. And God saw that it was good. In other words, that is the foundation of the agricultural principle of regenerative agriculture, where the seeds reproduce themselves for man to constantly have food. This is the principle of agriculture that has sustained the world from the creation of the world till this very moment. But then some people said that it is not good. God said it was good. But some people said it is not good. We need to make it better. And everything God did, God put, see, the Bible says that the fruit, yielding fruit after his kind. But no, man said, no, that's too much privileges for humanity. Let a few of us have the seed that can do this. The rest of humanity needs to be controlled. Even the creation of even the climate change, everything, you know, everything. It all is in rebellion to what God created and said was good. God created, He said, as long as the earth exists, seed time and harvest shall not cease, winter and summer. God said it and it was good. But scientists have said no. God said, go into all the world, multiply. Scientists said, no, you pour out too much. We need to cut you down. So if you want to understand the depth of rebellion, everything starts. If you want to understand the policies, it starts from rebellion against what God did at the beginning of the world. That's where it all begins from. God made man in his image and likeness. Scientists said that is inadequate. It's poor. We need to add AI and machine to humanity and upgrade man. So if you listen to them at the fourth industrial revolution, they will tell you that man man is overdue for an evolution. And this time around, we're not going to wait for Mother Nature. We will evoke the evolution through technology. And that is actually the essence of the fourth industrial revolution. And for these things to be possible, some biological changes need to be done. And that is why the GMOs, some races need to be cleansed out, racial hygiene needs to happen. A lot of people need to die off in some places. And Mr. Bill Gates is willing to provide the to do the Grim Reaper assignment of decimating all those places. But of course, it's food and it's drugs. So I don't want to go too much anymore. But I think that we should be rounding up. Temi was supposed to speak. What we're going to do is we're going to have another space tomorrow. We'll have another space tomorrow just to keep it going. Local Yoruba man, I really would have wanted you to speak tonight. I just invited you. Yeah, that's Yinka Ward. So let's hear from before we go. I would just want our other speakers to give us a one liner, but before they do, um, there was someone I just added to the microphone. But before the new people who are going to speak come to the mic, because I believe they'll just round up for us. Michael, you can just give us your closing statement in a minute. Then Tony Vass, you could give us your closing statements. Then Savik, you could also give us your closing statements before we'll now take Yinka, I think the local Yoruba man. So please, Michael, just a minute. And after Michael, Tony Verse, please, just a minute. I think we're already stretching into the night. Then gospel rap, that's Savik, and then we go to local Yoruba man. Please, you could go ahead, Michael. And if Michael is not available, Tony Verse, you could just go ahead. Tony Verse is also not available. Savik, if you're hearing, you could go ahead. Okay. Savik, you could go ahead. Or maybe we should just go straight to local Yoruba man, Yinka. Yinka, do you want to speak now? Okay, our speakers are not available.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
You
can hear you
muted
now,
us,
Yinka.
sir.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry,
you
sorry.
muted us. You
Okay.
muted us.
Oh, sorry. So maybe Michael, you go first, then Tony Verse, then we have Yinka. Let's go in that
Oh,
order. So
okay.
Michael, just one line, please, just so we can
All right.
get to the end.
All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Before I say what I wanted to say, you guys should please check the comment sections. I feel there are very important information there. PCX, while Tony Verse was talking, posted the roll-on he uses because some of you might be confused as to what to use. Right. And I also put up a link to corroborate what Tonyverse was talking about concerning something NAVDAC had said concerning a roll-on that should not be in use and how it causes difficulties even in giving birth and miscarriages and all. So yeah, my closing statement. Thank you so much, Dr. Pishex, for this. You thank you for your contribution to our nation. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for what CESFA is doing. Thank you for all that we've learned today. There are so many things I've learned from this podcast that I wouldn't have learned if it were not for you and the people you've invited. So I also just want to encourage everybody to be alert, to be vigilant, just like you quoted from the Bible, because our adversary, the devil, is roaming about, and he spoke about how Rose Gidado is not sleeping, and how even for that, even though she's doing things that are evil, he respects her, right? So we also should be on our feet, right? Social media is not for your fine face and for what you ate yesterday. It should be for activism, be changing lives. So even if you didn't make your way all the way to be president, when your children check your social media pages and see the things you fought for, posterity will fight for you and you'll be able to say that I did my part, I lended my voice, and I made a change. And read up also. Don't just take everything. Read up on things and ensure to if I were you, I'll put a subscription or a notification on PCX page or a page like Salesforce page so that whenever they post, you are getting it on the spot, whatever it is that they are saying, everything that PCX is talking about. Because whatever I've observed, whatever PCX is talking about is what should be spoken about at the point in time. So put on the notification in this page to always observe everything that is saying, right? And run with it. If you don't know how to type it, like I'm also not a doctor, so don't feel intimidated. Just retweet, just comment, just retweet, quote, and gather your followers to also follow. And that way we'll be changing lives and our voice will be heard. Thank you so much, Dr. Sir. I appreciate it.
Okay, I think I should just give my closing remark at once, right?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, beautiful. So, I think Michael has said everything I would have wanted to say, but let me just say this. Um, the Bible says that the heart of man is desperately wicked. So there's nobody who is doing business that his intention is to do you good, especially as an African. They see us as business. So it's very wrong for us not to think about whatsoever these guys are trying to present to us. So let's all get up and make sure that we are saying something all the time. Let's push information out there and make people begin to start to think and ask questions so that we can begin to sensitize persons online. So let's not just, be around social media and, just follow trends and all that. Let's begin to know that this thing right now is like a call to every one of us who took our time to join this space and listen to this and learn. Imagine what I just got right now. I've been using Rollon for how many years? I've never really, I've never known that, okay, this thing could cause cancer, and maybe not to me, but my wife, so I just got information for her right now. So please, we took our time to listen to all this. Let's take it further by making sure we push information out there. When it comes out, you share, you repost, you make sure that you're pushing information out there. Let others hear these things. Let's not fall prey to these guys who just want to turn us into a business. Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you, PCX. I really appreciate what you're doing. This is great work. I see this as a core. Thank you very much. Good night, guys.
All right, I think I can go next, Doc.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
All right, okay. Finally, okay. First of all, what we are doing now, the sensitization and the enlightenment, we are not the necessarily the first people to do it because there have been scientists and researchers that have been speaking out and all that. But the issue is that the organization, you see, this time around we are organized, we are an army. They were doing it, they were speaking one person, two persons, three persons, and then they were able to silence them. But we are an army. So we have to work as one. How do you work as one? Me personally, as a pharmacist, what I do is, as during your Love World specials, every documentary that I watch, what is your Love World special? It's a special program uh, uh, that is organized by the man of the Pastor Chris, and there are several health documentaries with thousands of research papers that are streamed, compiled as a documentary and streamed. So when I get it, I break it down because a lot of people may not be able to digest those technical terms, scientific terms. So I break it down, particularly on my WhatsApp, and explain it. I pick up a particular topic and put it up as a thread, post by post, and sensitize. That's how I reach out to all my content because I have several doctors and pharmacists on my distance. So some of them are still having that issue of being bound to literary knowledge, the knowledge that we all went to school to obtain. So there's a stronghold actually. It's kind of difficult to convince them of some certain things, but I keep on persisting. Then when it comes to X on Twitter, as PSHX is putting up those posts, just comment, like, and repost. What does it do? It helps on the X algorithm. So the X, because even as you're on this Twitter space now, X has listen anonymously. Someone can be listening to us anonymously. So it's even possible the people that we have been talking about are currently listening to us right now. So because X has a feature of listening to someone anonymously on someone's space. That's one. But that doesn't mean you're not going to do what you are going to do because you're an army. So it's important that you like, you tweet, you share. As you comment and like and tweet and reshare, the algorithm, it helps the algorithm to boost it. So a lot of people get to see PSH's content. So the information is put up online, you comment on it. When those people that are pushing for the GMO, is because they are paid to do it. You see, they are paid to do it. We are doing it for the love of God. We are doing it because we know the truth. And the truth is what is required to set men free. You see, so it's a lot that will reward us. So we have to do it like an organized army. So once they push up those their expos because they're paid to do it, you attack it too. You attack it with truth on the comment section because people that are coming to see their posts can be deceived. You see, because one thing with a lie is once you lie and lie and lie, and people get to accept it, it becomes a narrative. It becomes their truth in quote, even though it's a lie. You see, so we attack it on the comment section. We comment the truth. We comment the facts. We put up links. We put up pictures aggressively. They will get tired. They're the ones that will get tired. Are you getting it? So let us not be relentless. Let us not be relenting in our efforts and what we are doing. Let us keep on pressing and pushing in an organized way. You see, you get a new topic or anything, read about it, research about it. You see, and the more you do that, the more you know more, and you see yourself being pulled off from the bondage of lamestream media because they're lame one. So you're being pulled off, and you have an independent thought of reasoning that is inspired by the Holy Spirit. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Who just spoke to us now, please? What's your name, please?
It's me, Tony Verse.
Oh, 21st. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Great to know you at least you have a pharmacist in the house who there was something important you said. You said they are still tied to the education they got in school. That's very important to know that we know what they know, but they need to now know what we know from this side. Okay, local Yoruba man, are you available, Yinka?
Yes, I'm available. Good evening to everyone. I'm sorry to
Good
have
evening.
come late
No, it's
because
fine.
I just came out of a WhatsApp Zoom meeting with my colleagues. So I will briefly say thank you, PSHX, for all you've been doing. It's really helping and it's reaching where it should reach. And I think we should keep pushing it. We should keep pushing it. We should not relent, just like the speaker that just spoke have said now. Because uh, I've been on this for years. I've been trying to sensitize people. Even just yesterday, I tried to educate someone from Kenya on a personal level about vaccines and also about the food that they need to be given to their babies. because what they were advising them in the hospital is causing crisis in the life of these babies. She told me how her baby has been behaving since she got the last vaccine that the baby got. So I advise her that your baby do not need those vaccines. You have to be careful what you give this baby because they are setting this baby up for a low immune system that will always keep you in and out of the hospital. This is their
Mm.
plan. This is their plan. So I educated her, and also I also include this fluoride that is on Twitter. I show her the reason, and she now understood very well. And I believe when she I mean the illumination of light has a way of illuminating many dark places. So now that she has seen the light, I believe she's going to, you know, preach it further. This is why the truth has to set us free. The truth that we know is what has set us free and is going to set others to free. So we have to keep mounting the pressure. We have to keep mounting the pressure. That is why anytime Mr. Pishek, anytime he posts something, I back it up. I make sure I retreat. And this is not just this is not taking him for, I mean, this is not just me just tweeting because I don't know. Because most of these things, when I got the information from him, I tried to, research further. When I research further, then I bring out what I research further, or maybe what I've been practicing. For example, when he brought out the fluoride yeah, subjects, this is what I've been battling for years. That got me to even change everything about my toothpaste. I change my toothpaste, and also I make my own mouthwash. And I can this is a life testimony. I can say that the change, the difference is very, very significant. I mean, it's very liberating. So this is something that, if you yourself, you have used yourself as a test for this thing, and you see the changes, you will have much more confidence and boldness to tell people that these people, what they are doing to us is death, and
Yeah.
what we should be doing to ourselves is life. So
Mm.
we have to keep pushing. We have to keep pushing. These people, we know their agenda. So once we know their agenda, then we should know that we will attack them based on their agenda. And also, we know that they have successfully gotten the minds of so many people enslaved. They have
Yeah.
successfully they have successfully bought the minds of so many people. But those people, they cannot escape it. The funny thing that I know is happening. I know most of them, they are not going to admit it. Most of them
Mhm.
are not using all these toxic things. Most of them,
At all.
they know the truth about all these toxic things. But because of the money that they have, gotten from all those agencies, all those agenda setters, they cannot say the truth. And us that we know the truth, we will keep on pushing out the truth. The truth will set people free, and
Yeah.
if they themselves, they want to remain in bondage, they can choose to remain in bondage. But the people that will be free will be free. Us is what we need to do is to make sure we keep proclaiming it. We keep proclaiming the truth. Have a power that that lies doesn't have. So
Mm-hmm.
the truth is, the truth doesn't care about opinion. The truth only stand alone. The truth is absolute. So this is
Mm.
why most of the time when you attack these people with the truth, they go back, they make their Google search, and they bring something that is not substantial. They bring
Mm.
something that even they themselves they cannot prove. They end up falling back. They end up falling back. I see that a lot. And that is why we need to keep pushing. That is
Yeah.
why we need to keep pushing. I believe this GMO, these people sponsoring it, it will get to a time that our voice will be much more louder than them.
There's a lot
Our
there.
voice will be much more.
You know what?
Yes,
Sorry to cut
because
in.
there used to be a time when you are talking about this fluoride of a thing, people just don't care about it. But because some people like Mr. P keep, mounting about it, hammering about it, that is why we are where we are today. That is why everybody now is sensitive about fluoride. That is why everybody now is now aiming to change their toothpaste, mouthwash, and everything. Today now, I mean, some people will have gotten some information about the roll-on, and this has been out for long. This has been out for long. Aluminium in roll-on has been causing damages for long. But I believe with this change and with us hammering and not relenting, I believe the change is here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. You see, the truth of the matter is this. I said, personally, we're going to have a special space where we will need you to come out because I know you are very vast in a lot of home remedies, in a lot of naturopathy, all those things. I think because you see, these are lost. They are lost family traditions that we need to bring back. We need to bring them back. For instance, you said, and I remember your post where you said that you produced your own toothpaste in the house, you know, and these are things that our parents, our grandparents that lived in the 1918, that they passed to our parents, and our parents passed some to us. So, if there is a way we can even recover this lost culture and start training and teaching, even from now, you see, this is why pursuing these our people from their ancestral land is important because it destabilizes their culture and
That's true.
take them to IDP camps where they will live and then they will live with new cultures dictated to them by the state. So well, I'm going to have to organize a special, me and you, where you would have to teach, let us know some of what you do, how you do it, let people know that we actually have somebody who can get us right, with some of these things. I have a couple of people like that, so even myself, but I mean, I plan that we're going to have a special one with you, very specially. Thank you so, 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 so much, Inka. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
One thing is I'm very happy anytime I see your posts, you know, it's almost as if I've known you for a very long time because there's a lot of interaction between us online. And I mean, I'm very grateful. I'm very, 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 very grateful, for it. So, finally, for tonight, OC Bill.
Hello, Pisheks. Greetings to everyone.
Good
Greetings
evening.
to you.
Are you in Burkina Faso? I'm seeing Burkina, babe.
I adopted it when I
Ah.
saw the moves of the leader. I'm a big fan, so I have adopted it because I don't know what you people are doing in Nigeria yet.
Nice one, nice
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, thank you very much for this space. I really appreciate it. And I just so you know, I streamed it on my YouTube channels for my audience as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so that more people can be aware as much as possible. This is
Amazing.
really a lot of work. I remember Badebo Vivor Rhodes, the
GRV.
candidate. Yes, he was a champion of it at some time, long time ago. He protested, he and his wife, for Monsanto to get out of Nigeria. I remember that time. So I hadn't seen any protests. I hadn't seen anybody talking about our foods, sovereignty, and then of course, got to know you when David Udain did a space and had you over. That was very impactful. And since then, I've been following you. Now, what I wanted to say is very simple because I know you guys have been here for a little while. Somebody was speaking earlier and he said that they see us as a business. I just wanted to point out to the audience and everyone, they don't see you as business, they see you as less than an animal. So make of that what you think. I think that as a people, because when you think about it, it will make you fight even more. These people don't see you, they see you less than an animal. That's just the honest, blatant truth. So they don't care. They don't care about the casualties. They don't care how many people go for it. They are after your land. They're after your resources. They are making it obvious to you over and over again. So this is a fight that everybody needs to get involved in. Every African really should be an activist at this point because there's so much work to be done. There's only so much we can do. So if you know that this is the type of activism you want to belong to, please join PSHEGS, let the numbers increase. I grew up on the farm. I am very passionate about food sovereignty. I grew all the food we ate in my own house, we grew it. We had yams, we were rich in food. There was cassava, there was name it. There was ekpoma rice, izozigono, many things. There was no lack for food. Food was the last thing that you worry about. I'm a farmer at heart. My ancestors are farmers. I grew up on the farm. My father was, apart from working as a civil servant, farming was what fed the family of 7. So this is something that I'm very, very, very passionate about because I do want to own a farm, massive farms where I can grow my own foods as well. So that being said, I just wanted to point out that they do not see you as business. They see you less than an animal. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bill, thank you so much for that very brief and powerful submission. And everything you said resonates very strongly in my heart. Thank you. I'm very grateful for those words. And you see, rounding up here, what she said about they seeing us as less than animals is absolutely correct. Let me now call it a conspiracy theory if you like, but I will just say it as it is. You know, that very popular thing that, everybody, it's like everybody knows about it, called Mark of the Beast, where they said they would mark people, Do you know the part of that thing that interests me the most? Or let me not say that interests me, that fascinates me the most, because I'm not interested in it. I'm just fascinated by it. Is the fact that the Bible said it is the number of a man. You need to read that part. I think it's Revelation 13:17 or so. I'm not so sure. But it's somewhere there. It says that the number is 66. And then it says, and it is the number of a man. Let me explain what that means to you. It means that anybody that takes that thing is less than a human being. In other words, you are now under a man. You have lost your humanity. So the Christian concept of salvation no longer applies to you because salvation is for humans. So at the point you take that thing, you lose the ability to be saved. That's why it's said that, people who take it, they will not be able to be saved. Yeah, but that's actually very logical. Think about it. The Bible says it is the number of a man. That simply means that you are under the man in the hierarchy of life and existence. That means it's possible for them to demote human beings, to knock off their humanity from them and turn them into less than humans. then you are easily controlled. Totalitarianism, like we talked about earlier on. So I'm just saying that to corroborate with what Osibio said, that these guys actually want to roll out their agenda before time, but we say no. And thank you very much, Osibio. I'll engage you more in another conversation. Thank you very much. We're going to have this space again tomorrow. Hope it's going to be short than today. Today we had quite a. I started on a journey from 1900, and tomorrow I'm going to be talking about. Maybe I'll pick it tomorrow from this thing I said about the number of a man. I would also link it with an interesting organization. I want you all to look at this organization. It's called Lucis Trust. LUCISTRUST. Lucis Trust. Check out this organization, Lucis Trust. That organization is actually provides the ideology for the Council of Foreign Relations and the World Goodwill and also the Chatham House. What you have as IIA, RIIA, you know, this organization plays a major role in these three other organizations. So, yeah.
Quickly,
Thank you all.
sorry, Pishex, can I
Yeah.
indulge you for a quick minute? I don't know. At some point, when you're free, I would really like you. I'd like to invite you to my YouTube channel so you can also educate my audience as well. I don't mind you bringing someone along that you think has more information because, like I said, I'm very passionate about this and I'm a farmer at heart myself. So, whenever you're available and you think you have, even if it's 20 minutes or less that you can spend in educating, I would greatly appreciate it. We can talk about it in the DMs
Fantastic.
if that's okay. All right.
Yeah. Fantastic. That's okay. We can always do that.
I
We'll talk
followed you
about it in the
already.
DM. Yeah. Sure. I think I have followed you already also. So we can talk about it. Yeah. We'll give it a go. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you much. So um same time tomorrow, 9 p.m. I didn't plan it, but I think we should. But before we go, Tunde Ido Taylor, just say hi to us on our way out.
All right. So, hi everyone.
Hi.
Believe it. Aha, good. You can hear me. So, thank you for
Loud and clear.
this very, very timely and important platform. I think I just saw your post a few days back and I decided, like, wow, this is it. I've been on this for many years and it looks like one is crazy when you speak among your friends and all that. So I just keep it to myself and tell a few persons who dare to listen. So I was really glad to find somebody else really making it even more explicit. Please, well done. God bless you. And may the Lord continue to sustain you and empower you. Now, I like the aspect of bringing in scriptures, which I'm leaving. I know time is up. So the aspect of your bringing in scriptures is very, very. I mean, it just ties everything together. I want us to know that this thing is not just a physical battle; it's a spiritual warfare, and I believe that if it's if these things are already written in scriptures, I'm not sure that there is much we can do to really prevent it in the long run. But in the meantime, I believe that we should be looking for a community of people who can be free to, share things among themselves. Like, how do we get our own food? I visited the market with my wife today. It was difficult to buy most of the things I saw, the beans, almost everything looks like it's from them. How do we find a community, especially we that are now in the city, and everywhere is real estate? What do? We can't farm. Where I live now, I had to put some sand together and put a few seed there. So the issue is that even some of this space we are having now. Recently, me and my wife went to get her ID, and she needed to get her NIN. So we downloaded the app and discovered that we now have digital IDs. So that's another aspect, which is something we were all talking about during COVID. Our digital ID, everybody was scared. They called it conspiracy theory and all that. And now we have it without even knowing that we already have it.
Sorry,
So
Sunday.
yeah,
Let me
now
just tell you that
yeah.
NIMC app, delete it from your phone ASAP. If
Mm,
you want, if
mm,
you want to do that stuff, just go to the physical office. Don't do
okay.
anything digital with NIN and that NIMC app. That app, NIN, that app was actually built by the Grim Reaper himself, Mr. Bill
Mm,
Gates.
my
Knock
God.
it off your phone completely.
Jesus.
It's also a spyware. It has spywares in it also. I was
I will
asked by
delete it immediately.
It's so anyone listening to me right now, if you have the NIMC app on your phone, knock it off your phone ASAP. You don't need to use it.
It's a
Knock it off
terrible thing.
ASAP. You don't need it.
It's a
If you need anything
it's a
NIN,
terrible thing.
walk into their office physically. Physically.
Mm, mm.
And that information on digital ID, I'm going to look it up because that guy has been funding NIN for the past
Yes, yes,
few, I think 2 or 3 years.
yeah,
And at the National Assembly, I know we are all rounding this up, but this is important. It's important for us to say this. At the National Assembly, they are currently working on merging BVN and NIN. Now,
yeah.
BVN is the private sector, NIN is the
Mm,
government,
mm,
and they are trying to merge both of them, and the reason for the merging of both of them is for a single digital identity, which will be used for the taxation system that they want to roll out the new taxation system,
which is coming
which
from him too. Yeah.
which yes, which were in fact we're in the process of fighting it, and we just need to. And another thing is this: if you're listening to us on this call, you have access to people in government, people in politics. Please reach out to us. It's
Mm,
too urgent.
mm,
If you have access to Sheyi Tinubu or Tinubu himself or any top person in the government or any, please, we need to talk. It's very
mm,
important. We
mm.
can't sit down and watch this by. Yeah, we
So,
can't.
and I actually quickly wanted to add that how do we then form a community of people who can access organic products, food, beans, rice, vegetables, fruits? I can't eat fruits. All of them are GMOs. I don't know what is that. We need these things to stay healthy.
Yes. So about our community, right?
Yeah,
What I would do is what I'm going to do is of course just keep follow me very closely because there's a lot going on that I can't say it all
I follow you
on
already. I
earth.
follow you already.
Yes,
Yeah.
send me a DM also.
Okay.
And many of us who are here, I
Yeah.
would like us to connect beyond X, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Many of you are listening,
Because
I would
we don't
find
know
a
when
way.
this will be over. This freedom is. It looks like.
I'll find a way for us to connect, right?
All right. All right.
I'll find a way for us to connect,
Yeah.
and I will see what we can do because there's a lot going on already. First of all, um, there's a lot. We're trying to, like you rightly said, um, we cannot stop this thing in its entirety.
No, we can't. It's
We know
scriptural.
that it's scriptural. There's something. We know what's going on,
Yeah.
and in fact, let me say something else again. Before I started, using the bringing some scriptures from the Bible, I said to everyone listening, I said, from the point of view of a researcher, if
Mm.
you're a researcher of any kind, the Bible must be part of your research
Is your
documents.
number one?
If
Is the
you
foundation of research?
if you are not using the Bible in your research documents, that
Yeah.
means your research may have
Is
questionable
incomplete.
data. It's
Yeah.
incomplete.
There is a hole
Exactly
in it.
because you need to get the perspective. See, I've quoted, trust me, I have access to even several other religious books
Mm.
on different subjects
Yeah.
to know what's what is going on. Because for you to be able to speak authoritatively and defend the knowledge you have
Yeah.
for what you know and what you do, you should know what is tenable across board completely.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will definitely keep in touch. I'm happy. I'm happy that this is turning into a movement. and
It should be.
it's already turned into a movement gradually. And I am
It
not
should
one
be.
person that I don't start and end things abruptly.
Amen. Amen.
I'm always in for the long haul, and I have
Amen.
a lot to share. There's a lot I do beyond, especially in this area of food advocacy, beyond
Yeah.
social media. Trust
Amen.
me, even
That's
this
good.
Rose Gidado, I have met Rose Gidado before. I have personal
Mm,
WhatsApp chats with her. I have met
mm,
Yemisi Asbara. There is nobody in this area of food and biotechnology in this country that I
mm.
have not met physically with and
Wow.
for us to discuss. I've met everybody, you
So they
know.
are aware of the truth, but they are
No, they
ignoring it.
are aware, they are aware, they are aware, they are aware.
Money,
They are
the love
very
of money.
aware. Now, even that one, we will evoke patriotism out of them. We
Mm.
will force it out of them.
Amen. And
Yeah.
God will keep us too.
Amen.
God will keep us because they can get violent
There's
when.
nothing, if there's nobody has monopoly of that either, you know. Yes,
That's interesting.
they should just relax. There's nothing they can do. You know, there's a double
Yeah.
negative on
Yeah.
them. Nothing shall by any
Yeah.
means hurt thee. It's a
Cause
double
us.
negative.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they can't do anything. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Tunde. I'm grateful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
we were actually on our way out to Dare
I know.
Salami. Dare, yeah, just give us 5 seconds. Thank you.
All right, so thank you for the privilege. Probably since we have another session tomorrow, maybe
Yes,
later,
tomorrow.
hoping I can just chat to you on WhatsApp or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, fine. That's fine. All right.
All right, so thank you so
Okay,
much.
guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for staying till this time. We didn't plan to keep it this long, but of course, we just had to. The information from everyone. I mean, we had amazing speakers. We had Michael Ajobo. We had Savik. We had Yinka, the local Yoruba man, who I plan to have a very special session with. We had Tunde. We had Tunde. I mean, Tunde said some very important things that you cannot ignore. Absolutely important things he said. We also had Dari, who's coming out tomorrow. And I was looking forward to listening to Temi, but Temi had to drop off from some time as the speaker. But definitely, if Temi is on the line tomorrow, then I mean, we're going to take Temi. Thank you, Tony Vass, also. Thank you to everyone who's been here since we started around 9 p.m. Ferdinand and a couple of Cephas and the rest of you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I appreciate and I'm grateful. See you same time tomorrow, 9 p.m. We start at exactly 9 p.m.